She was just a maid trying to survive, until the most feared Mafia Don in the city noticed the necklace around her neck. A necklace that belonged to his mother. A mother who had been dead for 20 years. But when Alessandro Moretti sees the impossible necklace hanging from Isabella's neck, he realizes a terrifying secret. His mother's death may have been a lie. Now powerful enemies want Isabella silenced forever, hidden betrayals are about to tear his empire apart, and the one woman he should never fall for may hold the key to a mystery worth killing for. What begins with a forgotten necklace becomes a dangerous journey of love, betrayal, murder, and a secret that could destroy the mafia forever. The first thing Isabella Rossi learned after accepting a job at Moretti Manor was that nobody looked directly at Alessandro Moretti unless absolutely necessary. The servants lowered their eyes when he walked past. The guards straightened instantly when they heard his footsteps. Even wealthy politicians and powerful businessmen who visited the estate seemed nervous in his presence. Alessandro Moretti was not simply a rich man. He was the most feared Mafia Don in New York. And Isabella was nothing more than a maid. At least, that was what everyone believed. Including Alessandro. For 6 months, Isabella worked quietly inside the enormous mansion overlooking the Hudson River. She cleaned rooms, organized libraries, prepared guest suites, and did everything possible to remain invisible. Which suited her perfectly. Invisible people survived. Invisible people kept secrets. Invisible people stayed alive. Every morning, she woke before dawn and moved through the mansion while most people slept. She enjoyed the silence. The peaceful moments before the house filled with bodyguards, advisors, and visitors seeking favors from the feared Don. On one rainy Thursday morning, Isabella was assigned to clean the West Wing. A section of the mansion that had remained closed for years. The housekeeper handed her a key. "Be careful." Isabella frowned. "Why?" The older woman hesitated. Those were Mrs. Moretti's rooms. Alessandro's mother. The woman nodded. "No one goes in there unless specifically ordered." Isabella immediately understood. The room belonged to a ghost. Some memories were too painful to erase. When she unlocked the door, dust floated through the sunlight. The room felt frozen in time. Elegant furniture. Bookshelves. Photographs. A faint scent of old perfume lingering in the air. The entire place looked untouched. As though its owner had simply stepped out for a walk and never returned. Isabella worked quietly for hours. Dusting. Organizing. Cleaning. Until she discovered a small wooden jewelry box hidden inside the back of a wardrobe. Curious, she opened it. Inside were several old pieces of jewelry. Most were ordinary. But one necklace immediately caught her attention. A silver chain holding a sapphire pendant shaped like a rose. It was beautiful. Timeless. Almost hypnotic. Without thinking, Isabella touched it. Something felt strangely familiar. As if she had seen it before. But where? She couldn't remember. A voice suddenly interrupted her thoughts. "What are you doing?" She nearly jumped. Standing in the doorway was Alessandro Moretti. His dark eyes fixed on the necklace. His expression instantly changed. The room became silent. Dangerously silent. Isabella's stomach tightened. "I'm sorry," she whispered. His gaze never left the pendant. "Where did you get that?" His voice sounded calm. Too calm. She immediately understood that she was in trouble. It was inside the jewelry box. Alessandro slowly walked toward her. Every step increased the tension. "Who told you that you could touch it?" "No one." His jaw tightened. For several long seconds, neither spoke. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of anger, confusion appeared in his eyes. Raw confusion. Almost shock. "Take off the necklace." Isabella immediately obeyed. She handed it to him. His fingers closed around the pendant. For a moment, he looked like a completely different man. Not a Mafia Don. Not a feared criminal. Just a son. A grieving son. Then he quietly said, "Leave." Isabella left without another word. But she couldn't stop thinking about his face. The pain she had seen there. The loneliness. The sadness. It haunted her all day. And that night, she discovered something even stranger. A photograph. One she had carried since childhood. A picture of her late mother. On the back was a single handwritten note. "Never forget the truth." And around her mother's neck was the exact same sapphire necklace. The next morning, Isabella could barely focus. Her heart raced every time she remembered the photograph. How was it possible? The necklace belonged to Alessandro's mother. Yet somehow her own mother had worn it years ago. The coincidence seemed impossible. There had to be an explanation. But before she could think further, she was summoned. Personally. By Alessandro Moretti. The request shocked everyone. Servants exchanged nervous glances. No maid received personal invitations from the Don. Especially not after touching something precious to him. When Isabella entered his office, Alessandro stood beside the window. Rain tapped softly against the glass.
Sit,
Without turning
I have been
around,
expecting you.
he spoke. "Sit." She obeyed. He finally faced her. His eyes were unreadable. "I have questions." "So do I." The corner of his mouth twitched slightly. The first hint of amusement she had ever seen from him. "You are braver than most people." "Maybe I'm just curious." "Curiosity gets people killed." The statement sounded factual. Not threatening. Simply true. Then he placed the photograph on the desk. Her photograph. The one she kept hidden. Shock flooded her face. "How did you get that?" "It fell from your pocket yesterday." Her pulse raced. Alessandro pointed to the image. "Tell me about the woman." "My mother." He stared at her. "What was her name?" "Maria Rossi." His face lost all color. For the first time, genuine shock appeared. "That's impossible." "What is?" Alessandro slowly sat down. And what he revealed changed everything. 25 years earlier, his mother had a best friend. A woman named Maria. They were inseparable. Until both women vanished on the same night. Days later, Alessandro's mother was found dead. Maria disappeared forever. The investigation produced no answers. No suspects. No truth. Only grief. Now Isabella sat across from him carrying a photograph proving her mother had somehow survived. Over the next several weeks, an unlikely partnership formed. Together they began searching for answers. The deeper they dug, the more dangerous things became. Old records disappeared. Witnesses refused to talk. Former associates suddenly left town. Someone was hiding the truth. And someone was watching them. Meanwhile, Isabella and Alessandro grew closer. Danger had a strange way of stripping away masks. She saw the man beneath the reputation. The exhausted leader carrying responsibilities he never wanted. The lonely son still mourning his mother. The protector who secretly paid hospital bills for struggling families. The man nobody else seemed to know. And Alessandro discovered something equally dangerous. He looked forward to seeing Isabella. Her smile. Her laugh. The way she challenged him. The way she treated him like a human being instead of a feared king. For years, women had pursued his money. His power. His influence. But Isabella wanted none of those things. She simply wanted the truth. And somehow that made him fall harder than he ever thought possible. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. An elderly priest recognized the necklace. He remembered the night everything happened. The night Alessandro's mother died. The night Maria disappeared. The priest revealed a shocking secret. The two women had uncovered evidence of betrayal inside the Moretti organization. Someone close to Alessandro's father had been stealing millions. Worse. The traitor had ordered the murder of Alessandro's mother after she threatened to expose him. Maria escaped. Barely. She fled with evidence. And spent the rest of her life hiding. Protecting her daughter. Protecting Isabella. Before dying years later. Alessandro listened in stunned silence. The truth had been hidden for decades. But one question remained. Who was responsible? The answer arrived 2 nights later. And it nearly cost them everything. The annual Moretti Gala attracted the most powerful people in the city. Politicians. Judges. Business leaders. Criminal organizations. Everyone attended. Alessandro intended to reveal the truth publicly. He wanted justice. Finally. But before he could speak, chaos erupted. Gunshots exploded through the ballroom. Screams filled the air. Guests scattered. Bodyguards drew weapons. Alessandro immediately grabbed Isabella. "Stay behind me." More gunfire. Glass shattered. People ran for cover. Then Alessandro spotted the shooter. And his blood turned cold. It wasn't an enemy family. It wasn't a rival organization. It was his own uncle. Vittorio Moretti. The man his father had trusted most. The man responsible for everything. For the theft. For the betrayal. For his mother's murder. For Maria's disappearance. Vittorio had hidden behind loyalty for decades. And now his secrets were finally exposed. Cornered. Desperate. Dangerous. The old man pointed a gun directly at Isabella. "She's the reason this happened." Alessandro stepped forward instantly. "No." The word carried terrifying authority. "You don't touch her." Vittorio laughed bitterly. "You sound just like your father." Then he fired. Everything happened in seconds. Alessandro lunged. Bodyguards returned fire. The ballroom erupted into chaos. When the shooting stopped, Vittorio lay wounded on the floor. His reign of lies finally over. Justice had arrived. 25 years late. But it had arrived. Months later, peace slowly returned. The investigation cleared Alessandro's mother's name. Maria Rossi was recognized as a hero rather than a fugitive. The truth finally emerged. And for the first time in decades, both families could heal. One sunny afternoon, Isabella stood in the manor's rose garden. The sapphire necklace rested around her neck. Exactly where it belonged. Footsteps approached behind her. She smiled before turning around. Alessandro. His expression softened instantly when he saw her. Something that still amazed everyone around him. The feared Mafia Don had become completely helpless where Isabella was concerned. "Thinking again?" he asked. "Always." He laughed quietly. "I was hoping you'd stop." "Impossible." "Unfortunate." She smiled. "Why?" "Because I had prepared an entire speech." "A speech?" He reached into his pocket. Her heart immediately began racing. "No." "Yes." Alessandro dropped to one knee. The powerful Mafia Don who terrified entire cities looked strangely nervous. Which somehow made the moment even sweeter. "I spent years believing love made people weak." His voice grew softer. "Then you walked into my life carrying a necklace and turned everything upside down." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't mean to." "I know." He opened the small velvet box. A beautiful ring sparkled in the sunlight. "But I'm grateful you did." The world seemed to disappear. Leaving only the two of them. Isabella Rossi. His voice shook slightly. "Will you marry me?" She didn't hesitate.
"Will you marry me?"
Not for even a second.
Yes!
Yes.
1,000 times yes.
The answer escaped through tears and laughter. "Yes." Alessandro slipped the ring onto her finger. Then pulled her into his arms. Kissing her beneath the roses. For the first time in years, neither carried the weight of old ghosts. The past no longer controlled them. The secrets were gone. The lies were buried. And the necklace that once symbolized tragedy had become something entirely different. Hope. Family. Love. A reminder that even after decades of darkness, happiness could still find its way home. And as the sun settled over the estate, Isabella rested her head against Alessandro's shoulder, knowing that their story born from mystery, danger, and heartbreak had finally become the love story neither of them had dared to dream was possible.